I'm Evans, CEO of Religious Zine Media Group, host of Issues After Dark, nationally syndicated radio broadcast. We were out here during the sentencing and did this same type of move where we let people in the community come to the radio station and talk about how they feel about what's going on. We decided at that time we would come back for the sentencing, which originally was scheduled in August, and it got moved till today, which is November the 5th. My take, I am very disappointed by the verdict, and I'm also further disappointed by the sentencing. You kind of wonder what kind of justice can a man get. Usually you're talking about someone who committed a crime or somebody who did something, they try to taint him. This is just a young man out for New Year's Eve, heading back, and ran into the wrong police department. Now I understand that BART Police is very different than the Oakland Police Department, and Oakland Police Department under Chief Batts is doing a great job commanding this issue that they have inherited. If you notice in the streets throughout all of these BART proceedings and all the public demonstrations, BART police has been absent, and that's for good reasons, because if somebody comes out here in a BART vehicle or in a BART uniform, it can be major problems. That's how volatile it is. I'm concerned with the judge in Los Angeles. And the reason why I'm concerned is because the judge in Los Angeles says, I didn't ask for this case. Well, what case does a judge ask for? Judges don't ask for cases. They are handed cases. And then he says, I did the best that I could do. Well, isn't that what a judge is supposed to do? The best that he can do? And so here Measley has an opportunity to look at 14 years. Most of us who have any sense of consciousness, any sense of understanding of the African American community knew that the chances of him getting 14 years was slim to none. We weren't even going to bet our heart emotion on that. That would have been just shocking. But the judge did something interesting, and that is the jury said involuntary manslaughter, meaning they believe he made a mistake. But then they added the gun enhancement, which assumes that it was more than just a mistake. The judge looks at that and he says, well, I'm kind of disturbed by this. He says he receives over 1,000 letters of people who desire the max sentence, but then goes on to say over half don't understand the facts of the case, and then talks about how he's concerned that Oakland has been polarized. And I wonder, is that what a judge needs to be thinking about? Or should he just be thinking about the facts that were argued in the case? Now, I understand that this is kind of unprecedented. Never in the 20 years of former DA, who is now resigned, or shall I say retired, Tom Orloff, has a police officer ever been charged with a crime of this nature. And so that happens for the first time. And then never has an officer been found in this area guilty of murdering somebody under the code of law. It's never happened. And now he's been sentenced. But the sentencing of 2 years, when I think of 2 years, my mind rolls back to Michael Vick, who spent more time, got a larger sentence for shooting dogs. Plexico Burris shot himself and received 2 years. This man killed an individual, shot him in the back, one gunshot wound to the back, and then tried to immediately cross spin control by saying, I thought he was reaching for a gun. Who reaches for a gun while you have an officer, 2 officers, twice your size, one with his knee on your neck and the other on your lower torso? It's a tragic day. And I believe the black community is now learning from this that reaction doesn't work for us. That's what we've been as a nation, a reactionary people. We've got to develop core leadership that makes us proactive. We got to start holding accountable people who want our vote, and they got to be responsible as we are their constituents. Until we start changing the political climate, we cannot change the economic climate. And where there is no political and there is no economic climate, there will be no justice. And then I say to my brethren of the clergy, Where are you? You shouldn't have to be asked to come out. You shouldn't have to be given a defense, an argument as to why you should be here. Ask yourself, on November 5th, Friday, November 5th, if Jesus was in Oakland, where would he be? Would he be watching on a comfortable couch, watching on a flat screen? Would he be looking at the news, listening to it on the radio? Or would he have gotten rid of his schedule, his plan, and come all the way out here to Oakland to meet and deal with people who are hurting? People are hurting, they are confused, many are discombobulated. And until the clergy and the community come together and brokerage a deal as to what this community is supposed to look like and how we will enforce it and ensure it, there'll be another Oscar Grant. The next time, the officer won't even be charged. You know why? Because we've already agreed to not come together. And whenever the African American community does not come together, we always have bad taste in our mouth, and that's what we're experiencing today. Bad taste in our mouth. Not just because the judicial system failed, but because we did not have a mobilized economy, we did not have a mobilized politic to ensure that they feared this type of decision. And so, like we have been in times past with Rodney King, in times past with Sean Bell, in times past with many men who have died at the hands of law enforcement, we're back at it again. We're familiar with this. This is our life. The question is, will we get tired of this life and graduate to a new one to ensure that our children and our children's children never have to do these things or experience these things again? If one thing we can take away from Oscar Grant, let Oscar Grant be the last that has to endure this. Let's do something different.